Okay, this may make or break my YouTube channel, so we'll see how it goes. I get a lot of messages from you guys who've come across my videos, maybe considering Texas A&M as your future or transfer university, asking about the culture for POC and other identity groups here. So I'm making this video as a reference point for all those questions that I get. I know I can't speak to all of the identity groups on campus, but I do have access to a network as a current student to tap into my own network and find those identity groups that I can't myself identify with. So that's what I did for this video.
I had a very negative stigma of A&M, that it was really white, that it was really conservative.
It wasn't necessarily the cookie cutter school.
We all need to change. I don't think there's only one group that needs to change, and I figured that out at A&M.
Like, honestly, the picture in my head I had of A&M was people wearing cowboy hats, and that made me uncomfortable.
Yes.
Unpack that? Let's unpack that. I actually reached out and interviewed 8 different Aggies, not including myself, on their experience at Texas A&M, and I'm excited to share it with you guys. As a part of this series, I'm really excited for you guys to meet Mimi, Gabby, Yusra, Danny, Daniel, Cole, and Chloe, and Jay Rayon. And with that, I'd like to thank you guys for joining me for my first series on my channel called What It's Like to Be a POC at Texas A&M University. Let's go.
Let's go.
Hey! For this episode, to get a little bit of a holistic and overall view of people's perspective on their own experience at Texas A&M, I asked them to describe their experience in 3 words or less and tell me why.
Eye-opening.
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 I could say life-changing.
First off, the most popular answer that I got to this question was eye-opening, which I found interesting that 4 out of 8 of the people that I interviewed would have come up with that on their own. I don't really know if there's something to say about that or if that really holds any weight in what they all said individually, but here's more of what they had to say on the matter.
Stressful, but amazing. There's just like always deadlines, like, you know, it's like always things to do, places to be. I don't think I've ever had like a solid week besides like Gig'em Week where it's like there's not something I have to do, you know?
Yeah, like something that's like an actual task, like not fun.
Exactly.
I would definitely say unexpected, formidable. Wait, no, formative. And the third word I would use is just like sweet. Like, that's it, yeah.
But on the other hand, it's also been amazing. I think like A&M's like amazing place. Personally, I've like developed a lot. If you've seen me freshman year, oh my god, I night and day, you know.
What do you think your biggest change is?
I'm a lot more talkative in like social settings.
Okay.
Like before, like I don't know, just growing up, I'd just always be like the quiet kid, you know. I would just be in any like group settings, I would just say like 2 words, 3 words, and then like that's it. Like now it's like more, I guess, confident in myself.
Yeah.
I'll go out and like actually like lead a conversation or do something along those lines. So
I would definitely say it's like eye-opening. I clearly learned a lot about myself and like what I want in life and like my values and what I hold true and like what I want people in my life to value as well. I feel like my values have definitely like been strengthened just by the people I surrounded myself with.
So definitely fun. Challenging. I could say life-changing.
I love that. Life-changing. Because me.
Okay.
I think I would say unexpected because I did a victory lap. So, meaning I did 5 years at A&M instead of your average 4. And I mean, like, I'm going to admit it. Like, I came in as one of those freshmen that was like, I'm going to come in, I'm not going to change my major, I'm going to go to med school, and, like, everybody who has to stay or changes their path, like, they're just, like, they just don't know what they want.
Weak.
They don't know what they want, and they're weak, and I'm not going to do that. Well, clearly, everything went off path for me. And I think there was just, like, a lot of other things about A&M that I didn't expect going in. I knew it was going to be, I know like the culture there as a school, it was very like sentimental. And I think I attribute that to the way that like we practice traditions, which also have their problems, like don't get me wrong. But that, like I'm also just like a really sentimental person. So I think I really like was able to enjoy like the oneness of like the school.
I would say eye-opening, fun, and just like overall growth.
Do you want to like dive into that a little bit more?
Yes.
Unpack that? Let's unpack that.
So eye-opening because A&M is a massive school with all kinds of different people from different backgrounds. And so it's been cool, and especially like being in orgs and being in fish camp, being in sail, like big orgs, you get exposed to a lot of different people and you learn how to work with people and you learn more about how people live and things like that. And so college life is fun.
Yeah. No wonder I try to do more.
I would say an eye-opening dream. I was just like learning in depth of what it means to be enough the whole time I was here. Growing up, because my parents went to A&M. My dad played football at A&M. My mom was a student. My grandpa was a professor, so runs in the family. So growing up, I had this perception of what A&M was. So it was just like a dream to like finally be there in my dream school. Yeah. But my eyes were kind of open, especially just with all the events that happened this summer. The inside look at A&M and kind of just like the organizational buildup of it isn't exactly what I was like thinking. It wasn't necessarily the cookie cutter school that I grew up with the perception of.
Hard, do a little loophole, eye-opening, I'm gonna use that as one word, but rewarding. I say hard because I was going through a lot at A&M just in 4 years, like anyone would, but the environment at A&M sometimes didn't help that. So that's why at times it was hard. Sometimes it was hard because of the environment. But at the same time, those struggles, as much as I wish they wouldn't have happened and they don't happen on campus, those struggles were eye-opening to me. And I was also going through a transition within myself of like, with my identities being part of my identities, where I was like, hold up, some of this isn't supposed to be going on. And so that was eye-opening. And because it was eye-opening and because I had those experiences, it was rewarding in the sense where like I found my passion for people too, just, wanting to create change for certain people and for everyone really. Just I think we all need to change. I don't think there's only one group that needs to change. And I figured that out at A&M.
I would say insightful, challenging, and honestly, growth. We're going to go with growth, the third one.
The really close friends that I made from that, we talk about like what's going on in the world. Like it definitely strengthens it. Like I know with Gabby and I, like every time something happens, we'll like text each other and be like, dude, like what the fuck is going on? Yeah.
And you need those people in your life to like lean on when like shit hits the fan, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like I definitely think it's very important to have like people that you could like talk about the social
real stuff with.
Yeah, the social climate and like to reinforce your ideas and not stay ignorant to like what's going on and like ignore all the big issues that are going on.
Yeah.
Growth, just because if I just like went back and looked at myself in high school, I would never think that I would be as happy as I am now, or just like doing what I'm doing right now. Like I came from a private Christian high school and now I'm here at A&M just like living a super gay, happy life, and like I'm just trying to be me. And in high school everyone's just trying to impress everyone else, and college no one really cares. So
true. Especially me.
I came from a really small school, and so I had to do a lot of growth as far as like making new friends, and things like that. As far as a person of color, like at Texas A&M, it wasn't so far off from my small town mentality, which I guess sounds bad in a way. But at the same time, it was very like insightful about the area in which we live in.
Formative. 5 years ago, I was a completely different person, and like so much growth happened during the years. I couldn't imagine having the confidence that I have today, having like the drive that I have today, having like the certain skills that I have built like without the past 5 years. And then sweet. Yeah, it's just, I just really loved my experience at A&M. A lot of my memories were just sweet, like the time that I spent with friends, or like the nights where I stayed up and sat in Evans too long until the lights turned off and I had to get back on to turn them, like get back up to turn them on. It was definitely too short, even though it was 5 years. Short and sweet.
So now I think it might be time for my little 2 cents. And I think, I don't want my perspective to be skewed, but since I already interviewed all these people and now I'm giving you guys my perspective, and I thought long and hard about it. And I think I would say unexpected opportunity, just those 2. I would also say growth, but I feel like that would go under opportunity just because When I was going into A&M, when I was a freshman, I like found text messages from my brother the other day, like me hatching all these plans to do all of these things at A&M. But then it turns out that I ended up doing like a whole set of other things that I never even planned on. And so that's where the unexpected part comes in. Obviously I had no idea who I was gonna meet, no idea who like major players in my life now would be. All of those things were just opportunities for me to take in those people, those organizations, those jobs, those tasks, those classes, everything that I was unexpected, that I didn't know, like was just navigating as I went, became an opportunity that I feel like I did a pretty good job of taking advantage of. But yeah, I would say unexpected opportunity. I really like that you said sweet, because I look back and I'll have really, really fond memories. And then to the growth point as well, I think I have a way different like grasp on my personality and who I am and how I function just as a person. But I also think that that might not even be necessarily tied to Texas A&M. It might just be tied to maturing, but it does remind me of this point in life, because this phase in life is so closely tied to Texas A&M, and I feel like a lot of the experiences that I had here and all of the people that I had to learn from and the situations that I was put in that I learned from, like with roommates, for example, living with people made me learn so much more about how people operate, how people think. That's how I would definitely describe my time here at A&M, unexpected opportunity. Even though we had some overlap in the answers, I do feel like every respondent gave their own little twist and reasoning to why they would label their experience the way that they did. And so I hope that you guys got a holistic little peep into what it might be like for you guys to go to Texas A&M. And that wraps up the first episode of the series. So if you guys liked it, let me know by giving the video a thumbs up. Also make sure to stick around and subscribe so you don't miss the next following videos of this series. And also comment down below if you like this video, if you think I should do more like this. But as always, if you vibe, subscribe, and I hope to see you guys back on my channel for my next video. Bye!